I bought a new toy. Let's get it unloaded. So what is going on, boys? And welcome back to another shop build video. We have not made one of these in a while. But if you guys are car guys, you know exactly what I'm looking at right now. This is a TMG industrial tire machine, which felt pretty fitting to be in a shop build video because we got new shop tools. And I love new shop tools. And the reason I'm making this video is we have a lot of plans for reorganizing stuff in the shop to make this fit. And I think it's gonna be really cool. So I thought maybe you guys would think it's pretty cool. Now I picked up this tire machine this morning. When I loaded it, there was 3 of us. So this might be a little bit sketchy to unload by myself. One thing I do wanna mention while we're unloading this thing is that on the channel, we just recently hit 7,500 subscribers, which is pretty freaking exciting, man. I never thought personally that we would be where we are today with this, but we're getting there. Our goal is to hit 10K by the end of the year. So if you guys are watching this video and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. This is going to be extremely sketchy. Now that we got that off the ground a little bit, try and pull back. Oh God, we got this, boys. I'm confident here. Oh, that is going nothing but smooth right now. Here we go. This thing also came with a bead blaster, which is supposed to mount on the machine somewhere, which is pretty cool. Well, we are gonna put this right. Oh, whoa, sketchy. Heavy is this? Can I lift it? Oh yeah, I can do this. At least I think I can do this. Liquid courage. Not promoting drinking on the channel at all, but 23 years old and it's a Saturday on the long weekend. I can do whatever I want. Oh, now let me show you guys how freaking crusty this thing is. There is dirt all over this thing, just like years of oil leakage and a bunch of surface thrust on the plate that actually mounts the tires. It's missing a couple of bolts that pull the clamps in and out when you hit the button, but in general, it's just dirty. So I'm gonna give this thing a good old pressure wash and we're gonna see how much we can actually get it cleaned up, and then we'll bring it into the shop. Also, another thing I wanna mention, since this is kind of a shop build episode, look at my backyard right now. There is a mess absolutely everywhere. We got a bunch of metal fence posts here. Me and my neighbor are building a fence between my house and his. We've got about halfway right now. You can see we got all the pickets laid down on that side and all the rails and posts all the way to the halfway point. And then we got to re-landscape this whole area all the way to the back of my yard so that the water drainage is good and not going towards the shop. And then once I'm finished up on this side, I'll have a gate up front right around here as well, just to block off the front so no one can see back into the yard from the road. And this fence looks freaking good, man. It's all pressure treated wood, which was definitely expensive, but I do not regret doing it at all because it's gonna give the yard a lot more privacy. And look at what the fence we had before looked like. You can see right into my neighbor's yard. This is the fence on the other side of my yard, just 4-foot chain link. It looks terrible. So we're gonna tear this side down as well and then build a 6-foot pressure treated wood fence so that it gives full privacy in the backyard other than this big opening into the alley right here. But I don't usually film that type of stuff on the channel because to me, that's not that interesting. I don't know if you guys care to watch me building a fence or doing anything outside of the automotive related stuff. But just so you guys know, that is why sometimes I don't post a video for like a week or 2 weeks or even 3 weeks. It's because there's a lot of other stuff going on in the background outside of the channel. And not that many people watch the shop build videos, but I enjoy making them because I'm gonna look back on these one day and be like, damn, remember what the shop used to look like? And then I can watch the whole progress of me getting it to where I want it to be. And another step of that is this tire machine. So let's get the pressure washer out. Let's give this thing a full pressure wash. Get rid of all of this dirt and grease and grime that's on there. And then I'll get a wire wheel and I'll clean up all the rust off of the top plate. Definitely gonna have to clean up all the rust off of this arm as well. And we might give this thing a paint job. I'm not sure yet. But I picked up this tire machine absolutely dirt cheap thanks to my buddy Micah. If you guys don't know Micah, he's the one in the videos all the time when we are running the Something Cool booth. He's always there helping out. He's got a GR sedan WRX that he is kind of doing an STI swap on. His car is super dope. And he is a really good friend of mine and helps out a lot behind the scenes with the channel that you guys just don't see. along with helping us out with this tire machine. He had a second one kicking around in the shop and he gave it to us for a really, really, really good price. And that's the only reason I was able to get it. So I still gotta source a balancer, but at least we got step one down, getting the tire machine. Now we do have another build coming up on the channel that I have not told any of you guys about. If you watch my Instagram stories, you would know that we bought a new car. Now I'm not gonna say what the car is, but I will say that there is a reason that we're buying a tire machine. So let's get the pressure washer out, get this cleaned up, and see how nice it actually is and how much TLC she needs. All right, the sun finally went down, so there is a little bit better lighting. I ended up going full ADHD on this thing. I painted the upper arm because it was orange, and our shop is definitely not gonna be orange. I plan on painting all the walls kind of like a light gray white at some point. So let me just show you guys inside the shop and how we're gonna make this fit. So you guys probably remember on the last shop build video, if you watched it, we kind of built this whole back wall with a heavy duty shelf. The workbench was right here, and then our toolbox was here. And then to be honest with you, this corner is kind of just wasted space. We put the drain cart there, the pressure washer, then we got our bolt bin and a shelf. I don't like this side of the wall whatsoever. I think we could use that entire space. So here's my idea. I decided to move the workbench out from here, which is where the Something Cool flag is, workbench. It was a nice setup, but I moved the workbench to this side. Now it's not against the wall, but I kind of like it because if you don't have a car in this bay, it's kind of universal. You can stand on this side of the workbench or this side of the workbench. And when you walk in, only reason that this feels crowded right now is because this big shelf is here. Now I already measured this shelf. It's 24 inches wide and about 60 some inches long. I can't remember the exact measurement, but I do know that it fits perfect from the end of that wall right to this post, which is awesome. So we can take that shelf and we're gonna move it right against this wall. So it tucks into the corner there behind the workbench. We're gonna utilize that entire space. Then it's gonna free up a whole bunch of space on this side of the door. Now, when I'm making videos for you guys, I can set the camera up over there and I can stand over here. And you know what? I'm gonna give you this angle real quick. Let's see what this looks like. See what I'm saying now? Look at that. Camera set up there. We can work on the workbench. I can show you guys what I'm doing. I think that this is the perfect setup. And then we're gonna have the Something Cool flag behind me. And then we'll have the bolt bin and we'll have a shelf put up here. I'm hoping to put some cabinets up here. We'll have a little bit more natural lighting from the window that's back there. I think this is gonna be perfect. I also put a light up right here. So if I shut this off, the light gets a lot darker. We have way more space over there for a tire machine. So a lot of juggling and moving around here, but I think it's gonna look really, really nice when it's done. And we're gonna use as much of this, I don't know, maybe 9 feet of space that we have outside of the 2 bays where the cars go and then where we're working on the cars. So let's start by taking down everything on the shelf. We're gonna take down the bolt bin and the shelf over there. We're gonna move the shelf over and then we get the Evo pushed out and get the tire machine brought in. Perfect. It's nice and easy to push it out because it's kind of downhill. Bringing it back in is kind of another story. Now, before we go any further with the heavy duty shelf, we do need to clear some space here. That is progress, boys. We got the shelf in this corner. This door still fully swings open for the locker, which is perfect. We could almost use this as another shelf on top of the toolbox as well. This is awesome. Now let's check out the other corner so you guys can see how much more space there is by the door now. This corner feels a lot more full. And then if you look over here, we got all this nice open space. I'm thinking of putting the tire machine right next to the toolbox so the Something Cool logo is in the back on the flag there. We're obviously gonna move that creeper. And then this space here, since it's by the door, I'm thinking that's where the bolt bin and all that stuff's gonna go. Haven't decided yet, but first things first, now that the paint is all dry on the tire machine, let's get that thing pulled in and hopefully put right about here. Maybe we could have tire machine and then balancer on the other side of it. I don't have a balancer yet, but we'll get one. Oh, that's a pull. Now let's push forward. Judging by the condition it was in when we first got it, this thing looks brand freaking new now. All I gotta do is put a big old Something Cool sticker right on the front of it to match the flag. Oh man, I did it again. This is like 1 second for you guys in the video, but it's about 6 hours later for me. It's like midnight right now. And the reason I'm up so late and the reason that I'm back in the shop is I showed you guys in the beginning of the video what the fence looked like. I ended up going out and working with my neighbor on the fence for like 4.5 hours, pounding fence posts, putting up pickets, screwing in rails, doing a whole bunch of stuff on that fence. So we were trying to make the most of the daylight we had. So now that it's dark, I'm in the shop getting everything dialed in here, and I got a little bit carried away and forgot to pick up the camera, but I figured out the best setup that we can possibly have in this shop for doing our own tires. Look at this freaking setup, boys. I love the way this is looking. So we got the shelf, the toolbox, the bolt bin sits in behind the tire machine, which is literally all that could fit in behind there. It fills the space perfectly. If I have valve cores, valve stems, all that stuff, I can put it all here, grab it while I'm doing tires, and it doesn't look like there's much space, but I could easily lift a full like 33-inch tire off of a truck on here. There is tons of room. And if I need to move it out a little bit, I can. I'm just trying to keep it as tight as possible because there is a little tiny rod that sticks out right there. And imagine you've had a couple too many beers. You want to walk in the shop and then you're walking this way and boom, your shin just absolutely rails that thing. I don't like the way that sits. So I might build a little box that can kind of glide over top of that so that nobody hurts themselves walking into the shop. Now, with the way that the tire machine is sitting, we can actually lean the whole arm back and it's perfect. I also got the arm reinstalled into the machine. It works great, glides up and down nice, and our lock works, which is awesome. I also got a fresh air fitting put on the back of the tire machine. Also got a good old bussin' sticker on there. I thought it was kind of funny and ironic to put a bussin' sticker on that side because you're bussin' beads on this side. Was that a dad joke? I don't know if that classifies as a dad joke. I thought it was kind of funny. But everything works on the machine. I don't have the air line hooked up right now, but there will be a little bit of air left because I shut the valve. If I press this to lean it back, you can see she leans right back, and guess what? Look at that space to the wall. That is perfect fitment, dude. And we can leave the bead blaster in behind it as well. I'm gonna get that thing mounted on the back of the tire machine. And then all you gotta do is pull this blue collar and then you can bead blast. And I don't have to have a big bulky bead blaster. It can just sit on the back of the tire machine. That was a tongue twister, the big bead blaster. Not really, I think I'm getting tired. The other thing that I did off camera was organize my electrical cords. Now before, if you guys watched previous shop build video, you would know that we had a ladder in that corner, electrical cords, the garden hoses, and all that, all jammed in that corner behind the toolbox. It was such a pain every single time I needed to grab an electrical cord to grab them. I thought it would be good, and it sucked. So now the electrical cords are literally right here. Super, super accessible. I also mounted a fire extinguisher on the wall right above this electrical outlet, which is in the most accessible point of the shop. If both doors are open, you can reach in, grab it right there, and the nearest exit is right there. So it's in a very central location in the shop, and it's completely full. So we are prepared if there is to be a fire with any of the cars or anything like that. And I haven't even put up the previous shelf that we used to have above the bolt bin. Now I could put that shelf back up above here and move the flag, but I think what I'm actually gonna do is buy cabinets and run cabinets along the top here, and then possibly put our wheel balancer right there. There is a lot of things to figure out when you're trying to organize stuff in a tight space. And don't get me wrong, this is a huge shop. I think this shop is awesome, but to run a full-on automotive operation out of here is pretty tight. So I am trying to use every single square inch of this building to fit as much equipment as I possibly can. Speaking of putting the tire balancer right there, I had to cut that clip. I ended up going on like another 5-minute rant after that, but it was all pointless, and I'm not gonna keep the video going on and on and on for no reason, because I think at this point I'm like a professional impulse buyer. I messaged a guy like last night, and now I have a new thing in the shop. We got a freaking balancer now, and it is the matching balancer to the machine. This came up for a deal delivered to my house that I couldn't pass up. So I pulled the trigger on it. So now we got the tire machine and the balancer. There's a couple more pieces on the machine that were broken. We had to weld this bracket back on and weld this bottom pin because the welds were broken on it. Then I got new bolts, so I'm gonna get that all put back together today. The only thing I'm missing for the tire machine is one little spacer piece, which I'm gonna get ordered. I already emailed TMG, the maker of this tire machine. But then I also got that air hose taken off there because I measured this tire machine out. I think it's gonna fit perfect right where those two wood slabs are. I'm excited to have like my own like tire setup and not have to pay somebody to do tires on my own cars. I never thought I'd be able to do this at 23. This is super cool. All right, boys, we got this area dialed in, and I think that we still have enough space to put a cabinet here, like an enclosed one with the doors, so that then we can store all of our oil and stuff like that, and you guys don't have to stare at a big wall of oil over there, because that's kind of ugly. I like to have doors over everything like this with this cabinet. Then when you open it, all the stuff in there is nice and clean and tidy, and it's covered. You don't know what's behind there. It just looks more presentable and clean. Now you guys are probably wondering what this machine is in the back of the videos. This is not mine, this is my dad's. And we used it for landscaping the whole area by my fence. Now I still need to figure out how to use this balancer, but we got the tire machine completely put back together. I built my own spacer for it. I put a new bolt in it, and I'm just waiting on one of the glider plates to come in. I gotta get one ordered from TMG. So as you guys can see, all of them have the lower glider plate except for this one right here. You can see it is missing it. So I just gotta install a new plate on the bottom there. And if you take a peek right here, you can see that I made like a makeshift spacer there between the bolt and the linkage arm. Whereas if I rotate this around, you can kind of see that the actual spacer is black, and it has a little recessed area that actually goes into the linkage, whereas mine is just sitting on top. But it serves the same purpose, does the same job. As you guys can see, if I press this, the arms come out. They're very slow because I only have a 20-gallon compressor. It only puts out about 110, 120 PSI, whereas these machines probably like to run around the 160 to 190 PSI mark. So it's a little bit slow, but I think it will do. Then the tire machine sits really nice. I got it pretty close to the wall, and we screwed on the pieces on the side for all of the cone adapters for different size wheels and stuff like that. And we got both of them plugged into the outlet right there. If I flip this on, you can see everything lights up. I just think I need to calibrate this thing and get it all set properly, which is what the owner's manual is for. So I'm gonna go through this, figure out how to set this thing and how to actually use it. And then the first set of tires that I am gonna take off with this machine is the steel wheels from the Civic with a set of Michelin X Ices on that are now a set of slicks with cords hanging out of them because we did that gnarly burnout at Rad Torque Raceway. So we gotta get those ripped off because those tires are absolutely garbage. And I think that'll be a really cool way to kind of like test the equipment out for the first time. So it's super late today. Again, this is gonna be like so many multiple days in this video, but I'm gonna come back in 2 seconds for you guys in a completely different outfit again, and we're gonna test this stuff out and make sure it all works. because I am super hyped with how this came out. There is so much freaking space still for walking and everything like that. And we have a tire machine and a balancer in our shop with 2 bays that we're gonna have open with a car lift on the other side, huge shelf, toolbox, and we got a full mezzanine up top. As you guys can see, my dream is slowly coming true. We're making progress. I'll see you guys in 2 seconds. Next day, same outfit, still dirty, wearing a frickin' Home Depot hat because I was landscaping and putting up fences all day in my yard. Again, it's not super late at night. The only opportunity I get to mess around in here is when everyone else goes to sleep and when it gets dark and we can't work outside anymore. So we're swapping tires. We had a whole bunch of stuff show up off Amazon for this tire machine. We got a valve stem installer tool, which sucks. I'm probably gonna order another one. That one is not very strong. We got tire lube. We got a tire lube brush. I got a new insert for the duck head here. It fits not bad, a little bit of a gap there, but that'll just protect the wheels even more. And then the inserts that are supposed to go in that little gap right there, which you guys can't really see. If I jack the exposure up, you guys can see what I'm talking about. And you guys can see that this one is not even the same shape and it's way too big. So I'm gonna have to shave these down to make them fit. We also got a new tire pry bar straight off Amazon. I also got a plastic guard for the tire bar, a plastic guard for the bead breaker, and a couple other little things. I actually did a set of tires for a buddy this morning. We got the balancer all calibrated and working, which was awesome. But now, like I said earlier in the video, we gotta get these corded frickin' wheels from doing the burnout on the Honda dismounted. First things first, I'm putting on frickin' gloves to do these, man. There is cords coming out of these things everywhere, and I don't wanna cut my hands. And you guys are gonna hear why we need a new air compressor in about 2 seconds. I can pop maybe 2 beads before this thing's gonna kick in. Maybe it'll go really good on small tires. We'll see what happens. I was doing truck tires this morning. There it is. Second bead pop. Compressor kicks in. Works pretty good for small tires though. Let's see if this new plastic piece works on the duck head. Boom, just like that, 1 bead. Hell yeah. Just like that, boys, we got our first tire off. That is sick. I can do my own tires in my own shop. I'm freaking excited, man. Now that we did that, we're gonna recalibrate this balancer. Even though I did it earlier, I did it with a rim that looked a little bit bent and it had a tire on it. I wanna do it just on a bare rim. So we got it mounted up on the OEM freaking Honda steel wheels. This car, when I bought it, was so original and stock, it's crazy. And then I put the RPF ones on it and I modded the piss out of it. Press 1 to start spin. All right. Whoa, freaking sick, dude. It's gonna say add 3.5. Once you spin this to right there, all these dots light up. Now you're gonna put 180 degrees on the outside. Press start. And this wheel is straight as an arrow, so this should calibrate it. Now we're gonna take this weight off like that, and we're gonna spin it until it's lined up on the inner edge. We're gonna pound it 180 degrees on the inner edge. And we're gonna press go. Calibration ended. Now she's mint. This is pretty wild, boys. I can change my own tires in my own shop at my own house. That's something that I didn't know if I'd ever say in my lifetime, honestly. And here we are at 23 years old. We got a tire machine, a balancer, a shop, a Subaru, a Honda, and a truck, and a house, and a hot girlfriend, and a lot of cool friends, and a lot of cool subscribers. I don't know, I'm rambling at this point. My life is a whirlwind right now. I can't even talk right now. A lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings and a lot of terrible sleep schedules go into this channel and making videos for you guys. So if you guys watch these shop build videos, I really, really appreciate you. Because these are the videos that kind of show the behind the scenes of everything, I guess. It's kind of just me talking to you guys. It has nothing to do with cars. It's just me and you and modifying shop stuff, which is totally out of my realm. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out. So I think I showed you guys a little bit of the outside stuff at the beginning of this video. It's dark right now. I could take a light out there and show you, but it's kind of pointless because it's dark out. So I'll show you guys in the next video probably when we're done everything. So that is gonna be it for this shop build episode. Made a lot of progress. We changed a lot of stuff around underneath the mezzanine. One of the things that is really, really high on my bucket list in the shop is obviously painting the frickin' walls. But we'll get there. Just takes time and money. And I don't have any of those right now. So that's gonna be it for this video. Peace out, boys. Thank you so much for watching. Go build something cool.